Gr1 have decided to limit the amount of people on the new development server. As a result, I can't even bloody log in. So, today, we're going to be doing a review on the Q5A, and we're going to look at its skin. The servers have been having a bit of an issues recently, but if I can't get on, I can't make content for the new update. I also can't show you the new clouds, although you can see them in a very sort of, I don't know, there's that depth of field in the background there. Ah, yes, I can show you something else. There's a man standing in the background behind the aircraft. Wow, isn't that fantastic? I honestly don't know what else to tell you. So welcome to the dev server experience. G'day, I'm Ash, and this is the dev server. Everything is subject to change. Now that I've got that out the way, we've been able to log in. Took me a good 30 minutes. However, that's 30 minutes, I could have had this video out. Doesn't necessarily matter. Server issues aside, it's a new update, everything is subject to change, as they usually say. There are 9 new aircraft today. We've been taking a look primarily at aircraft, although I will mention that the KA-50 got an updated cockpit. There are a heap of new vehicles, about 13 or 14 vehicles in total. Naval, we don't touch that. However, I do recommend that you check out Napalm Razor or Flipped Stug for naval content. I won't touch it with a 9-foot pole and a bloody rag on the end. But there's also a new hangar as well, so there's some fantastic new scenery, although there is one issue with that. We'll go over that just in a minute. There's also new aircraft carriers, and there are new missions, and there's a heap of different things. So I highly recommend that you go check out the patch notes, because this patch is definitely a large one, and, well, I'd say a more quality of life patch than ever. Taking a look at the hangar, and my goodness, it is a nice addition to the game. Custom hangars have always been a thing for a while, and I've been using a Moon currently, although that might change. I might actually use the default one for a little while until I get sick of it. There are moving objects around in these hangars now. There's aircraft that fly over, there are crew that walk around, there are trucks and tanks that move around in the objectives that you can have a look at. But as you can see, a very nice looking hangar. Ground forces wise, you get a live firing range and you get vehicles that drive by, as well as maintenance noises and so on and so forth that really make your immersion. The hangar is decent, I suppose. Or should I say, is it a workshop now? Considering there is a live firing range right there next to the mechanics, I don't think they'd like that too much. Bit of a safety hazard there. Usually live firing ranges are a bit further out from maintenance facilities, just in case things tend to happen or something goes wrong. But as you can see, a perfectly good vehicle hangar. So yes, they've got this seaport hangar here, which is very nice, and you can see the clouds up above and everything. It looks pretty good, actually. Not the greatest, but again, that's just my graphic settings. Alright, let's move on to the many aircraft that we have in this patch. The first aircraft that we're going to be taking a look at today is the SK-60B. Essentially, it's a Rank 5 battle rating 7.3. It is a light attacker aircraft. It can hold a whole bunch of different ordnance as well as 30mm cannons. This is the current configuration on the thing. This is probably the configuration that you'd use the most. But being 7.3, this thing could probably outclass a lot of the other 7.3s. I don't know about you, but 7.3 is made up of Venoms, Vampires, and just a whole host of other different jets as well. F-89s and early 262s. So it's going to be interesting to see this thing fight those particular vehicles. Regardless to say, it's got gun pods, 150 rounds each of 30mm cannon for a total of 300 rounds. It can and will have, guided ordnance eventually. And what I mean by guided ordnance, well, you've got guided rockets. There's not really much else to say there. You can have a look at the stats on screen currently. There are also appears to be what I suppose are the Swedish equivalent of HVARs, with TNT mass of 3.7 kilograms and 500mm of penetration. They also get access to 6 14.5 centimeter rockets as well, which is quite nice, I suppose. But don't expect this thing to be particularly good, as it is open cockpit there. I don't see this thing standing a chance in head-ons or any sort of close fight engagement, so be careful. To my disappointment, France does not get a new Mirage or any sort of VTOL aircraft or anything of the sort. I quite like my Mirage. Where's my Mirage 3.0? Gr1? Instead, they get a premium P-47 D-22RE, exactly the same as the other Allied one. In fact, it's very much the same as the other Razorbacks that we got in the last patch. A nice addition, but again, rank 3, 4.3, You like your gardening tools and your lawn mowing aircraft? This is just the aircraft for you. Anyway, let's take a look at Italy really quick, because Italy has possibly one of the most meaty machines of this patch. This is the FC20 Biz. It's a rank 2 battle rating 2.3, and if you think there's something wrong with it, yeah, it's got a 37mm cannon with 42 rounds in the front. It's also got a single 12.7 forward firing, and there is also a turret with that exact same millimeter caliber with 650 rounds. Crew of 2, max speed of 461. It looks like the Italian version of the Beaufighter. There is no armor. The X-Ray is definitely an interesting vehicle, and I will say this, I guess double wing spars look quite good, especially when they've got air-cooled 681 horsepower engines. So this thing's going to be a bunch of fun. Anyway, straight over to China. Those of you who love playing Deadbeat Aviation and copy-paste Thunder will enjoy the Q5A/B. It's a fantastic little addition to War Thunder, I suppose. It's basically the same as the Q5A, except for the fact that it gets heat rockets. As you can see here, Type 130 times 2 with a decent penetration of 283 millimeters. Although explosive mass is 13.8 kilograms and the TNT equivalent is only 16. It can get the Type 90 heat rockets though, 283 millimeters, exactly the same. And there's a whole host of other bomb loadouts. So if you like ground ordnance and you like ground pounding, these rockets do have a nice effect. They also do quite some damage to ground forces, although, again, it is basically the same as the previous model, the only real difference being that it has a radar warning receiver, and there's not really much else to say about it. It's exactly the same aircraft. Unfortunately, they didn't add the Q5 late, which does actually have air-to-air missiles as far as I know. But that's okay, because, well, China is mainly copy-paste. I'm sure they'll get some Russian Vikirs or some sort of new, KA-50 type helicopter in a coming patch or two. This is the Mitsubishi F1. It's a rank 6 battle rating 10.3. It's got a 20mm cannon, and currently underneath I have AIM-9Ps installed. Those are the Sidewinders. Crew of 2, maximum speed 700 kilometers. I guess that's alright, but this airframe looks to be a further progression of the T2, which is fantastic in a way. It sits directly below the T2 under here, but you can get access to 750-pound bombs and your M82s, the 500-pounders, the AIM-9Es, and the AIM-9Ps, but that doesn't necessarily matter because obviously have a look at the loadout here. You can get your Zunis, you can get your Mighty Mouses, you can get all sorts of different things, but today we're going to be focusing on the Sidewinders. A launch range of 18 kilometers, maximum speed of 2.5 Mach, 20G overload. That's going to be quite interesting. Explosive mass of 4.76 kilograms and a TNT equivalent of 7.62 kilograms. That should be fantastic fun, actually. But it doesn't get chaffs, it doesn't get any sort of countermeasures, it doesn't get radar warning receiver, and that's kind of a bit of a disappointment. But there you go. I'm looking forward to playing this one, and I'm looking forward to picking this one up and playing with it, because this thing looks to be a bit of a beast in a way. Alright, let's move on to the next aircraft. Britain gets the Harrier Gr1. This is a rank 5 battle rating 9.7. It does get short range air-to-air missiles. It's got a 30mm cannon, can do 985 kilometers an hour. Have an interesting story about this one coming up that I'll probably do either on live stream or in a video itself, as I had a couple of angry subscribers message me at stupid o'clock in the morning and tell me that when this thing was announced that there was going to be premium versions of the Harrier. Now, I don't know why you'd go to all the effort of emailing a content creator about premium vehicles. I don't necessarily understand that. I can't control Gaijin. There is nothing I can do about that. In fact, my videos play meaningless effect on what Gaijin can do and can't do. But suffice to say, that's a story in its own, which I'll be covering in its own video. The Harriers and their debacle. Currently, there is only one Harrier on the dev server, however, and this is the only one that you can currently take a look at. So, in future, I guess, editions of the dev server, we will probably be taking a look at, I guess, some more Harriers in due time. Moving on to Russia. Russia, we have the MiG-21 Biz. It's 10.7, it's got 23mm cannons. We can get 6 R60s. 6 of them! Mind my voice break. But that is quite a lot. I'm guessing there's 2 mounted internally. Oh no, they're just sort of like a finger 3 formation, just underneath the wing there. And again, this thing looks particularly interesting. Mach 2, again, another MiG-21. I like MiG-21s. They look vulgar and menacing. Right, this is the Bf110, and while we're on the final stretch of aircraft, let's firstly mention that a couple of interesting changes. Obviously, the piston engines of all types' survivability characteristics when hit from ammunition of different types and calibers has been clarified and improved. Whatever that means, the crazy Russians mean that probably if you get hit in the engine with a bullet from another aircraft, I presume that there has been damage model changes to the engines. Should be particularly interesting. I hope that not all aircraft get caught on fire every single time they're hit with a bullet. And we'll take a look at the new graphics settings in a separate video shortly. But suffice to say that this is quite interesting. There are other changes. I highly recommend that you go take a look at the forum post. But this is the Bf110 G4, Rank 2 battle rating 3.7. Currently I've got it equipped with a bunch of ordnance on the front. And a late war Bf110 is certainly welcome. And it's just a Bf110, really. There's not much else to say here, aside from the fact that it can get cannon pods up to four cannon pods, as you can see that I've got currently equipped right now. Moving on from the Bf110, we're going to take a look at the new premium German aircraft. If you like your gardening tools and you like lawn mowing, well, this one is for you. This is the P-47 D16RE. I know it's a similar airframe to all the other Razorback P-47s. Essentially, this is the version which was actually captured by the Germans. As a quote from SMIN 1080p, the community manager says, "The current German P-47D will be removed, and anyone who owns it will keep it, and the new Razorback P-47 will go on sale with the next patch." So essentially, they're replacing this very aircraft with the P-47 D16RE. So there you go, 12.7s, rank 3, battle rating 4.3. Also, I'm going to leave this sneak peek in. Obviously, there's new naval mechanics, and with that there brings aircraft carriers, so some interesting things to land on. I'll show you visuals of that later. Essentially, suffice to say, there is this image. Now, can you tell me what aircraft there are on deck right there? To me, that looks like the Buccaneer. Anyway, that's about it for the preview of aircraft. There's so many things to take a look at in this patch. It's legitimately crazy. So much to cover that, in fact, I'll be live streaming right as this video goes live. So, do check the description down below for the patch notes. Otherwise, I will see you over at Twitch where we can check out all the new things and experience the new things together. Anyway, my name is Ash. I hope you're all doing fantastically well. I'll catch you in a couple of videos soon, and see you later.